Good day, fellow captains, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at some gameplay where I played in the Baltimore. I'm running the same commander as I ran in the Wichita. Thomas Kincaid, same skill setup, same inspirations. As you can see, the upgrades are a little bit different, running with an AA build. In today's game, my teammate and I are going to hold our side, essentially holding out against the enemy team, ensuring that they can't capture Alpha side. Lately I've been noticing the player base tends to abandon one flank altogether, and they'll group up on one side or the other, east, west, north, south, doesn't matter. They'll all group up and push in one direction. Now, I will say I've seen this work in the past for teams where they will win. However, I've also seen it, and this is majority of the time, I will say 75-80% of the time, it does not work. Your team will lose. You are going to lose if you all group up on one side. And normally when you lose, it's because all of the blue players will gather behind a large island to avoid getting shelled, having fire set on them, because they're afraid of their digital boat getting damaged for some reason. They're all going to group up behind that one island and not actually push, when I'm assuming the whole idea behind your entire team pushing one direction is that you'll be able to sweep the enemy and continue to push without ever stopping. It seems to me it turns into a competition of who could be more smooth brain and who can sit behind the island longer. So at this point, you're seeing my division mate and I sitting back and letting our destroyer spot for us. Now the reason for this is we're holding back in order to give the enemy players on this side a false sense of security. We're making them feel like nothing's really there except for that one destroyer. Well, they're going to find out real quick that that's not the truth at all. So roughly at the same time, my division mate and I, we engage at the same time. As you can see, because of that, we're catching a lot of enemy ships out in the open. That Udachi's in a position where he's in a lot of trouble. He's got my rather large 203 Baltimore guns firing at him. He's also got my division mate in his Akazuki with his rapid firing 100mm guns. He's not going anywhere. You're going back to port 100%. Not to mention, we're also catching this Tirpitz out in the open. Now, with a boat like Tirpitz, he's got a lot of armor, he's got a lot of health pool to deal with, and he's got torpedoes that we have to worry about, but honestly, he's not that much of a threat. He doesn't even have sonar. My buddy's already running smoke screen, so he can't even see the Akizuki. He's already being spotted from another ship that's in that area, so my friend can shoot and keep fires on him without any danger to himself. As you can see, I'm staying mostly out of the fight because I know if I stick my nose out, I'm gonna have at least 2 to 3 ships shooting at me. That's almost guaranteed since my buddy's not spotted. So I'm gonna stay poking out of the island here and there, getting my guns on when I can, using that rudder to my advantage. Again, this is a fast rudder build, getting rid of that Edinburgh. That guy, I mean, he had sonar, more than likely. So definitely a danger to my friendly destroyer. Gotta get rid of him. Baltimore, he's roughly over 9.5, 9.9 kilometers away from my destroyer. As long as we're keeping fire at him, he's not a threat to spotting my destroyer. So I'll keep fire on him, make it so he's not comfortable pushing out. He doesn't have any health pool anymore because he keeps coming outside on. I don't know what he was thinking, but not smart play. As you can see, I'm feinting the Nagato, making him think that I'm gonna turn and give him my broadside. that's what the rudder shift's for. Get my back guns on, hit that rudder, get a good angle so he can't get a good shot on me, and we're just gonna burn him out. Just get rid of him. You can push all you want, but when you have 2, 3, 4 ships shooting at you, you're not gonna last long. I don't care what boat you're in. Pushing back up in order to both spot for my team and to support the Akizuki once he starts pushing back up into the flag. Again, I'm not going to go all out and push past the island. That's not going to put me in a position where I'm going to be at an advantage when it comes to that Tirpitz's guns and his torpedoes. My sonar's on cooldown. I can't see his torps from a long way away. His guns can do some major damage if I'm side on, so I'm gonna play the slow game. I'm gonna wait for him to come around the corner, hit him with my shells. He's full broadside. I may just have 203s, but if I punch through that nose armor, I'm gonna do a lot of damage, as you just saw. I'm gonna do massive amounts of damage, and as I said in my Wichita video, that's damage that he cannot really repair. And he's gone.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Don't sleep on the Baltimore. Those guns, they're gonna do some nasty damage to you. You wanna sail side on to a boat like the Baltimore, you go right ahead. I'll take all that damage and I'll send you back to port. Now I'm just assessing the situation. It's not looking great. We're essentially equal on boats. They have majority of the cap, so now that I feel like, okay, there's not too many things around. I have that one cruiser, that Baltimore, sitting behind that island. He doesn't have the health pool to deal with what's up here, so now it's time to push, get some spots on him, get some shells on him, scare him. I'm going to use my maneuverability to my advantage, make sure that any trade he's going to lose out on. I still got friends behind me. I don't really know what he has, but it's not really relevant. As you can see, I'm pointing out to my blue guys that they're doing absolutely nothing where they are. You may see that a lot in my gameplay. I don't really like potato players. There's a lot out there, and these two guys are definitely potato. So my buddy's gonna push into Alpha to try to capture. There are still 2 cruisers remaining, which could be a danger. I could jump into Alpha with my teammate. However, I'm gonna get spotted for sure. They're gonna shoot at me and reset us, so he has a better chance of capturing on his own. The second cruiser just got spotted over by Delta, and his current position, he's not a huge threat. However, he gets any closer to my destroyer and he definitely will become a threat. So it's important for me to get around this island and start supporting my Akizuki whenever I can. Now, unfortunately, I am stuck on this island right now, so I'm trying to maneuver out to be able to get past this rock that is I don't know, this imaginary rock that's holding me back. So I'm going to rock back and forth and then try to jump out and both protect and support my Akizuki. In the meantime, I'm going to send shells over the hill onto the Baltimore, just essentially depleting his health pool while he can't not engage me. And I can't engage anything else anyway, so I might as well send shells that way anyway. Now, jumping into A, at this point, I'm jumping into A in order to support my destroyer because I know that other cruiser is coming over here. I know that that enemy destroyer is still around here somewhere. He hasn't been spotted in forever, but if he tries to push at this point, it's not going to go well for him. Baltimore's pushing. He has radar consumable burnt. Whole reason for that is he's trying to spot my Akizuki. It's understandable. However, he's also pushing straight out when he should have been rocking back and forth, because now he's in the open against the Akizuki and myself. And here, I don't know what he's doing. He's definitely not shooting at the destroyer, but maybe his radar was already down. I'm not really sure. Not a good play. Now that he's dealt with, I can turn and give my nose to that battleship over there. I don't have to worry about that Baltimore citadeling me or taking huge chunks of my health with AP. So now, enemy destroyer spotted. Again, I said this in my last video. I'm gonna focus on him. Destroyer's got to go. He's first and foremost target. As soon as we get rid of him, we get rid of a huge torpedo threat and the threat of getting dev struck. As far as the North Carolina is concerned, as long as I keep this type of angle and my nose onto him, he's not going to be able to do any kind of devastating strike type action against me. So he's not going to be able to get rid of me. Meanwhile, my destroyer is just ticking his life pool away. Shiratsuyu, a lot of these players I don't understand anymore. I mean, I guess he thought he could just dev strike me with torps by running around the corner. Yeah, it's just an entire player base of potato players, for sure. These shells right here from the North Carolina should have absolutely killed me. I don't know what that was about. However, you know, I'll take it. Bye-bye, North Carolina. Back to port. And that's my Dreadnought and Kraken. A lot of players, they'll sleep on the Baltimore. Do not sleep on the Baltimore. You got to get rid of them if you see them. Super dangerous boat if you allow it to live the entire match. So that's the match. My division mate and I, Bomber Bucky, both top of the team, running that match by ourselves, essentially, throwing that backpack on. As you can see, 102 shell hits, 5 incapacitations, 5 destroys, 5 fires, 1 assist and capture, and 5 secondary hits that don't really matter. Pulled the Kraken out on that one. I feel like the rest of the blue team didn't really do much. They kind of sat behind the island and just let us haul them around in our backpacks, which there's a lot of that lately in the game. As you can see, my upgrades for this ship, I have the AA build, because oftentimes, I'm not really sure why lately, it seems like the last couple of months, aircraft carrier players tend to pick on the Baltimore, at least when I'm using it, which seems kind of odd. And then essentially the same build as my Wichita, all rudder and then gun range and dispersion. Looking at the commander, it is the same as my Wichita build. If you want an in-depth talk about that commander and why I use him, why I use the inspirations, you can go back to the Wichita video. I will glance over it real quick. Azure Lane Rune, Azure Lane Baltimore, both extremely strong inspirations with this build. Ingenious, and then the rest is just speed and rudder shift. All in order to juke enemy players into believing you're making one move when you are going to make an opposite move once they fire their shells. I can't tell you how many times I get deflects and shatters because of this build. If you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing. Leave a like, hit the notification bell for future content like this. Consider leaving a comment down below any ships that you're interested in seeing, or even any ships you're interested in seeing gameplay of. I'm Buckshot Bucky. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.